Man, what's going on, guys? Carluta here, back with another video on your screen. I'm here with the legendary Cut Man, Stitch. You might have seen him in the Creed movie, Balboa. He's worked with a bunch of top contenders, Shane Mosley Jr., big shout out to my boy, and so many. And if they don't know you already, introduce yourself to my subscribers.
Well, my name is Jacob, but nobody knows me as Jacob, right? Everybody calls me Stitch. But yeah, I'm a cut man for fighters, and you're right. I have been in Creed movies and did three movies with Rocky. I did Balboa when Rocky fought his last fight, and I did Creed one and Creed two with Sylvester Stallone, and of course Creed one, two, and three with Michael B. Jordan. And so yeah, that's what I am. But I'm a cut man by nature, uh, just normal guy.
Absolutely. What's one thing that you've been working on since we last spoke? I know it's probably I think it's been like about 2 years now, but I know
Oh,
you got
God.
a lot.
Well, they finished my documentary. I think we talked about that. They were filming it at that point. It's called From the Fields to the Garden. Growing up as a farm worker in the Central Valley of California, that was the fields, and the garden was my go-to man at reach Madison Square Garden. Been there many times. Matter of fact, yesterday or Sunday at Father's Day, I get of all people, I get two Happy Father's Day messages from one of the commissioners from New York, and the other one was security guy from New York, from the garden. So talk about being blessed, right? But yeah, so I've been doing that, and um, yeah, I guess I'll show you now. You'll probably be one of the first. Just started a new cannabis line, Stitch Premium Products,
Wow.
and if I can show you let me see, that's the vape, kind
Oh,
of crazy,
oh,
huh? And
that
then
looks
check,
wild.
look at the back.
Oh man, there's your picture.
Yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah. And
that.
then the pre-roll is going to be tie stitch. They're working on that now, and actually, I just signed a contract with this major company out of Canada because it's legal throughout all the country, and we're going to team up. So they're going to continue with the Stitch Premium vapes, and then their pre-roll is going to be called Last Round. So I've been blessed, man. I'm doing a lot of good things and spending time with the family, but still working. And I did a show in Mexico, in Colima, Mexico, Saturday.
Oh,
Uh, on the 4th of July, I go to Cleveland. I'm working with Abdullah Mason, part of the top ranked shows. So I've been blessed, brother.
damn, that's a blessing, bro.
Yeah.
A great fighter, Miller Mason. You know,
Yeah, good kid too, man. I was in Saudi Arabia with him when he won the title, and of course I was there with Devin Haney. So worked with two fighters, and both came back with world titles. So, but
yeah,
yeah, Abdullah, nice, nice. The whole family are just nice, nice people, real nice.
absolutely. I think I met some of his family. I know I met him back when I think it was a top rank event I think in Corpus. I think
Yeah,
it
we did on the Corpus. Yeah,
Yeah, and I interviewed him in the little area, so it was pretty cool. Legendary too for like be a part of Top Rank. After seeing you be there so many times, and I was like, man, I finally get to live the dream is being on Top Rank.
yeah. It's funny when I was in Corpus, some of the people thought I was James Olmos,
Oh,
the
man.
one that was Selena's dad in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I said, no, 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 I'm not him, and this one lady came up to me when we were eating, and she said, remember me? And I said, no. Well, she thought I was Edward James Olmos. It
No
was
way.
that crazy. Yeah, I get it all the time.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Yeah, and you're one of a kind, I tell you. And so you've been a part of so many different events, over this past year so far, midway through the year. Um, between working in the States and working in Saudi Arabia in the corner, which one brings you more joy?
The States, bro. Traveling, it's a long ways. I going to Saudi, which was nice. I mean, I've been to Abu Dhabi, I've been to Dubai, and they're long, long ways. But yeah, but nothing like working shows in the United States.
Yeah, for real, for real. So you talk about the pre-roll, the vape, and what's coming up next. You're
Oh,
working
oh, 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 well, we got rolling papers too. It's called
rolling
the
paper,
best. It's called the best rap in town.
the best rap in town.
Yeah.
That's and that's going to be on a website.
Well, no, well, the rolling papers, yeah, we could sell those throughout the world. because they don't require. But the cannabis, we're starting here in Nevada, and then like saying, then when we go to Canada, they're gonna start on that immediately. But it takes about 3 months for everything to be approved and everything to be processed and all that. So yeah, but go to stitchduran.com. They just started an apparel line, Stitch Premium Apparel line. Real nice shirts, man. So nice outfits. So yeah.
Exciting. That's exciting. Everyone go out there and go grab that apparel because, support my guy here. He's a legend in the game and only, he's, climbing that ladder every single time. And what can you tell the young fighters and the cut mans out there, like words of wisdom?
Well, the young fighters, just follow your dreams because they do come true, right? Uh, there's a lot of guys, do it right. Don't do it for the money. If you do it for the money, you're gonna do it for the wrong reasons. The money is gonna come through your performance, and at that point, it's always a business. And I did an interview before I did yours, and the guy asked me, I said, one of the things I always tell these guys, he asked about social media. And I
Hmm.
said, 100% social media. That's because every fan you get on your side is like a dollar in your pocket. So I always keep that in mind and run it as a business. But when it goes to training, there's no shortcuts. Make sure you're with a good team. Make sure they're not taking advantage of you and all that. So yeah, that's what I tell these young guys.
Absolutely. It's always good to talk to you. It's like history, I'm talking to like a legend and the GOAT in boxing.
It's
And
good.
you see all these I watch a lot of fights and I look in the corner and I see what the cut men are doing and what how you do it. So like how different is that? Like how different is that to watch the fights and know that, they're not doing something right or you would have done it this way? Like how does that take on you?
Yeah, it's a good point because that was going to be my second one based on your questions, right? Uh, but I try to educate cut men because keep in mind in this game of combat sports, MMA, boxing, bare knuckle fights, none of us have to be certified to be called professionals, and that's including the cut men. But I always tell these young fighters, and you could ask them next time you do an interview. If you interview a cut man, ask them what the function is of the adrenaline chloride 1000. That's the medication we use on the swabs that go on the cut, right? So let me ask you then, Carlos. Do you know what it does when the guy puts a swab there? Do you know what the function is for the medication going into the cut? And you're not supposed to know, but let me ask you, as a fan,
I
what,
would
what do you think? What do you think is going on once that liquid is put into the veins of a cut? What do you think happens?
I would say it would probably close up the inside of the cut so it doesn't bleed out.
Yeah, but what's the function? Yeah, it's supposed to stop the bleeding, but what is the function? What does it do? I mean, how does it? What do you call it? So anyway, you're not supposed to. I'm not going to put you through that. But anyway, so I always tell these young fighters, as look, if you're looking for a cut man, and if you put the swab in his mouth or his ear and no gloves, get another cut man. That's old. That's dirty. That's filthy. Ask him this: what does the adrenaline chloride 1000 do? The medication we put on there. If the guy tells you it's a vessel constrictor, get another cut man. It's the wrong answer. Whenever you see me working on a cut, I'll squeeze it, and how many times you squeeze it and you get the blood out of your little veins, you put the swab in, that medication absorbs into the veins and it closes them. It's a vessel constrictor. All right. So I try to educate. In fact, I made a video, it's $50. It's called Giving the Fighter One More Round, but it shows you how to work, how to wrap hands for boxing, how to wrap hands for MMA, how to work on cuts, what are the mechanics of the medication, the KO swell, the metal. I teach everything, and so that my legacy, Carlos, is when I leave, that I made this game safer for the fighters, and education is that's the way I want to leave it. But yeah, that's at stitchduran.com. Yeah, I recommend all guys, get that video and look at it and see what's right and see what's wrong. But study the cut men. And my kids study the cut men. I'll get messages, Dad, this guy is so and so, and this guy's this and that, and this guy, well, like like the end swell, the KO swell. You'll see guys doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it, when you get swelling, it's because you got accumulation of blood. So their theory is you move it over here, but you do is you move it into tissue that's not damaged, and now it comes right back, and now it gets a little bit bigger. So in working on swelling, cold direct pressure, and to basically what you're not going to get rid of that, but you can minimize it. And how many times have you cut your hand and you put your finger on it for 30 seconds a minute, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
blood coagulates itself. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get that hard pressure in there, hopefully you stop it from continuing to bleed.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy, huh? Simple.
It's
Yeah,
it
once you understand the mechanics of it and put yourself in the vision of the cut. And that's whenever I work on a cut, I'm the cut. I'm looking at it. I say, okay, shit, what do I do? And I'm always looking. So yeah, good
so
question.
yeah, it has the pressure and the recently I got like a little cut like right here working a catering show
Yeah.
right between the thumb. And it took me forever. I was at the Freeman Coliseum. It took me forever to find like the band-aids and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, but I put pressure on it and I was like, man, like what would Stitch do right now? You know?
Did it work?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked. It worked and it stopped
Yeah.
bleeding and it actually closed up like pretty like within the couple of days. It
Good
was
for you, man. Yeah, yeah. It's once you understand the mechanics, then it's easier to work with. You understand what the cut's doing. Well, let's help it coagulate itself. So yeah, good point. Good job.
Thank you, sir. And you're working on big things. The next fight, you said Miller Mason. And what can we expect, to end the year off from the man?
Well, I'm working with Canelo. Let's talk about Saudi Arabia. I'll let you know. I think you're probably the first podcast that I'm letting this information go to. He's fighting Mbili September the 10th in Saudi Arabia, and Eddie Reynoso called me and asked me if I'd be willing to work with him. Of course, I said yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy not to, but that's it's going to be a nice way to end the year. And the thing with Canelo, I have my own line of tape, right? Stitch premium tape, athletic tape, and Canelo uses it. And but the first time I met him was when we did Creed 3. He had a little cameo in Creed 3,
Hmm.
and when I met him, we shook hands, and the first question he asked me is in Spanish, right? How long have you been wrapping hands? And
Yeah.
so he knows that I know how to wrap hands, right? And he supports me by even with his promotions, Viva Mexico Cabrones. A lot of his ads, he has his hand is wrapped and he has my tape on it. So and the tape is available at Cutman for hire supplies, and that's Juan Ramirez. It's Raza helping Raza.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
it's legendary and I can't wait to see you, and whenever I see your tape, I'm like, oh damn, there goes Stitch right there. I was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's there and he's not even there. His tape's there. And I think it's really cool to
yeah.
see that. I think boxing is where it's at right now, as boxing is pretty wild to see what's been going on. And I just love to watch you in the corner. I love to see, all your fights. I try to catch all your fights to see, your work. And it's a wild. It's thank you for coming back on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And, I know you're a busy man. And where could everybody follow you at and continue to follow that journey?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I enjoy talking shop. It's what we do, right? And but you're right. I've been blessed, and today to this point here, I've never asked for one job. I just can't kiss nobody's ass. It's not my nature, right? Everything has come to me through based on performance and how you treat people, and they don't forget that. And then if you could back it up, and I've been blessed with those type of things and working with so many good people. But I'm available at stitchduran.com. You know, try to keep, in the social media as much as possible. And it's nice to see guys like you that, that follow and that see and that they observe and that they appreciate,
Mhm.
And my job at the end of the day is to make sure that these guys go home looking as handsome as they walk in, you know. And I let them know that, you know. As my job, tell them it's look, I'll keep ice on you every round. I'm not gonna wait till you start swallowing. I'm gonna do a lot of preventive maintenance. I said, but I want you to walk out as handsome as you walked in, you know. And it's, you know, they remember that. You
Mhm.
know, I remember Andre Ward, he fought and he got cut, and he said, "Oh man, I started freaking out." But then I thought, I got Stitch in my corner. You know, that kind of brought him right down. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I've been blessed, brother. But we'll do it again anytime.
Absolutely. I do appreciate you like always. I appreciate
Yeah,
your work. Everyone go follow Stitch. Go get that apparel and
yeah,
look out if y'all are in Nevada, go sample the vape and
yeah.
get the pre-rolls nationwide. And everything that he does, support him. And he's a real one. Thank you for coming back on the channel. Big shout out to today's sponsor. You know, just landed a new law firm and Lachica law firm out of Houston, Texas. Call 844 Lachica. And big shout out to y'all and big shout out to Stitch. Go follow him. His links will be in the description down below. And to leave this off, do you think there'll be a Creed 4?
You know, the guy at Walmart, when he stopped me, he asked me. I said, "Well, they're working on it." You know, so I know I got a call where Michael B. Jordan and they're doing a TV series called Delphi. And when I was with Nate, I saw the director there. They had already shot season one, so they're filming season two. But Creed four, I heard talk that you know that's supposed to be in the pipeline, and I think on this one it would be Michael's daughter that would be highlighted in the as the fighter because you know she was young in Creed three, and but she was training
Yeah.
right now she's a lot older, and I would expect that which would be great because women's boxing is picking up, you
Yeah.
know, and so we'll see what happens. You know, either way, Michael B. Jordan came out on my documentary. He gave us like 30 minutes, and one of the points I'll tell you real quick is uh, I'm wrapping his hands in Creed 3, and it's just him and I all the time. And I said, Michael, you know my real name? He says, Stitch. I said, no, no, no. Do you know my real name? He says, Stitch? Because I've only known you as Stitch, you know, when you came in. What is it? I said, it's Jacob. Ah, you look like a Jacob. I said, no. You know, I hated my name growing up because I grew up with all raza, right? It was Rudy and Pancho and Carlos and Jose, and I was Jacob. But it became a strong name, and so I'm glad I have it. But he said, you don't look like a Jacob. So anyway, that's my last story to you.
I like that. I love your time. Thank
Yeah.
you again, sir. And everyone go follow him like always. And it's been Stitch, Carlito, One Love. We out.